Welcome back to Loan Officer Success Partner, sponsored by Premier Lending. Hey, today, guys, as you know, I always bring the heat, right? We're always bringing the best people out there in this industry. And today, we've got a legend in the industry. And man, this guy has built a CRM system built by loan officers for loan officers, probably one of the best that I've ever seen. And man, he's just an amazing guy in general. Brad Brondt, and the product is, man, I'm going to say it wrong, Cerberus, my man, Cerberus. It's okay,
Cerberus
right?
CRM.
Yeah. So, but dude, man, you know, hard to track you down just because you got your hands in so many different projects, brother. But man, thanks for joining us here on the show today.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me, man. I've been following you a while, so I could sit here and say a lot of good things about you too, man.
Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that. Well, so, you know, we see each other often with a good friend of ours. I always give a shout out, Scott, over at Redder, Scott Hudspeth. You know, if you guys aren't checking out the show, shout out to those guys too, man. They do a morning show, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, on Zoom call. So you can find it on the internet, Redder Morning Show. Go check those guys out, man. Doing cool things. But you did a presentation on your program, and we talked about bringing you on. But I always like to kind of get to know you a little bit. So what part of the world are you in, man? Where are you located at?
New Jersey, the Eagles part of New Jersey.
Don't talk about the Eagles, man. I'm in Dallas.
I'm like 30 minutes. I'm like 30 minutes east of Philadelphia.
My man. So up there where it gets real cold.
Real cold and real hot, and a little bit of in between, depending on the month.
Man. You get the best and the worst of both sides, right?
Yep.
And are you from there originally? Is that stomping grounds?
Yeah, all my life, man. I grew up about 30 minutes from where I live. Now I live in a really cool, small lake community that feels like you went back into the 50s.
That's killer.
Kids still ride their bikes and hang out in groups in front of the 7-Eleven where I'm at.
Man, I'm about to move right now. John, you hear that? That's me packing. So get back to where we've got real good values, right? Kids can play outside and not have to worry. I love that, man. I love that. So you're from there, lived there, and you started what? You started as a loan officer at age 3? Like, I mean, how did you build such a cool machine? You look like you're 25 years old, man. Like, how did you make this thing happen?
I wish. 41, man. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing loans since 2009. I came out of college during that financial crisis. My cousin luckily owned a mortgage business, and I couldn't find a job after looking for 6 months and sitting in, waiting rooms to be interviewed around people that had been in the industry for years, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to do anything. It didn't matter. Like I originally came out of school wanting to get into like investing or hedge funds, whatever the case was.
Yeah.
I accidentally, like all of us, found my way into mortgage.
Right. And here you are, right? So 2009, not an easy market, right, to be in. We were coming off of one of the worst, situations our industry has ever seen in our world in general, right? The United States was not in great shape back then, and nobody wanted to lend. And Brad said, "I'm getting in."
Dude, the funny thing is I didn't get a paycheck for the first 6 months. My cousin, my business partner he's a business partner of Cerberus, and we run a branch for Acre Mortgage.
Yeah.
So he told me this years later, having a drink at the bar, but like my cousin goes, you have 2 options. I can give you full commission, or I can give you a salary with some commission. I thought that was like I'm doing this because I'm your cousin and I didn't want people to look at me differently. So I said full commission. So 6 months, I didn't get a single paycheck.
Yeah.
About 2 years later, my business partner and I having a drink at the bar, and he goes, you didn't take the salary? Everybody took the salary.
But dude, that shows you that you're a true salesperson, right? And at the end of the day, you got no fear. And let me tell you something. I had a podcast with Denise Panza a couple weeks back, originally up from your neck of the woods. And, what she said was the same thing. She said, I started for a company. I took the salary and the commission, and about 3 weeks in, they pulled it away and said, no, your commission only. And she said it was the best thing that ever happened to her, right? Because it told her, hey, I got to figure this out. I don't have a choice. I got a kid at home and I got to support myself. So 6 months, no income, right? And you're just trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah. It was tough, but it definitely lit a fire, and it taught me how to survive like during the worst time to ever write mortgages. So, and I've always been a salesperson at heart anyway, so it wasn't a big deal to me. And luckily for myself, I was still living at home with my parents, so I really didn't have any bills.
Right.
So it was all good. But 2009 started in the business. 2016, Craig, my sales manager, my partner now, we decided to open our own branch,
There it
right?
is.
And, obviously doing mortgage, I came to realize that a big part of my business is coming from real estate agents. So I needed to have something that was new and unique, some different
Yeah.
value proposition that they weren't hearing from every loan officer that called them, right? So I started working on different ways to help agents generate business. I started learning about marketing for myself and the technical aspects of it. I mean, I still can't type to this day, dude. Like everyone's like, you're like a total geek. No, I'm not. I can't type. Like I hunt and peck. It's like the worst thing ever is when I have to type something in front of somebody. I feel like a
Yeah.
loser. But either way, I kind of like adapted this mindset that I needed technology. I needed to
Uh-huh.
market myself. And that's what kind of led me into selling this software platform. And it's much more than selling software because, if I was just doing that, I commoditize myself, right? So like I learned a lot of different ways and I'm a true student. I've consistently signed up for courses and memberships and just I've been learning from the best of the best when it comes to
Yeah.
marketing our business, right? Because at the end of the day, like we can't just rely on real estate agents or we can't just rely on our database or marketing. We got to do all of it. It's got to be a
That's it.
conglomerate of things that we're doing.
Yeah, that's it. We call it octopus arms, right? You got to
Yeah.
be a little bit of everywhere all at the same time, but you got to master it and do it right, right? And that's one of the things that you've done is you've built a system that allows for you to
Yeah.
do all those things and do them extremely well. But let's stage this back a little bit. So I'm a new loan officer, similar to you when you first got into the industry. In 6 months, no paycheck. How do I avoid that in 2025? Right, the modern loan officer, right? Like, what's the suggestion, Brad?
Well, learn something fast. Right. Like me personally, knowing what I do, like number one, find a value proposition,
Yeah.
right? Because you can call agents. Agents are dealing with people every single day that need to buy and sell real estate or want to buy and sell real estate. So there's a chance that you are going to get transactions from them if you have the right offer. Right? I always say that, like, I don't care who an agent is working with. I can get them to meet with me if I call them and say, I have a $400,000 listing. Do you have 15 minutes for me?
Mm.
Right? Or, hey, I have 2,500 bucks. You want it? The
Yeah,
reason why, not that I would do that, but the reason why is because of that offer.
that's it.
You can't say no to an irresistible offer. So like, that's where you start is like, I talk to a lot of people and they're calling agents, but I'm like, well, what's your offer? And they don't know it. They
Yeah.
start calling before they have an offer. And the problem is now you lose that opportunity before it even existed because they're going to say no if the offer's not right. So figure
There
out
it
your
is.
offer and start calling agents.
So what's the suggestion? What's the offer, right?
And that's going to be different for everybody. But like, here's what I say, like the two things that agents want is either leads or how to get them.
Mm.
So like what I've always found is do something creative that's going to help agents generate business. Even
Yeah,
if you're just training them, like learn how to run Facebook ads and train them how to do that. Learn how to run YouTube ads, train them how to do it. Learn how to perfect the perfect open house and train them how to
boom.
do it. But make sure it's new and unique so it's not the same offer that somebody else is calling
That's
them
it.
with.
Yeah, you've got to stand out in the crowd. And there's a big crowd right now, right? And there's a smaller group of people that are actually producing. So how do you get in front of those people with a unique selling proposition that's going to make you stand out? And I love that you said that. The other thing you talked about is give it to them for free, right? And that's something that, it took me a little bit of time because, I use tech and I've got a lot of cool secrets up my sleeve. And initially, the way we went about it was, hey, let us show what we can do for you. Well, first off, you get spread too thin because you can only do so much for so many people, right? But secondly, they don't think that's cool. It's like, hey, you're holding me hostage, right? So if you bring it to them and say, look, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, and it's yours for free, now you got their attention.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's hold stuff to the chest if we can, if it's going to help us. But like, I think the scalability piece is the biggest piece,
Yeah,
right? Like even like right now with Cerberus, we built a whole funnel blueprint. Like it's insane what we built, but I found that I can't do this as an agency. I
uh,
can't sell this to them because I need their involvement and then it's not scalable.
yep,
So at a cheaper cost, I can sell them the training and how to do it and provide them the creative assets, right?
Oh, that's
And
smart.
all of that was because although I might be able to make more money over here, because this way is more scalable, I'm going to go that route. Plus, there's just something about empowering people, training people, teaching people. It makes you it gives you credibility, authority. It puts you up on that pedestal, right?
Makes
So
perfect
like
sense.
that's the thing with like agents. Like I think anybody can, back to the value proposition, is teach something that's going to help them grow their business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. What's
And
the
you want
one problem in your business this solves 10 other problems, right?
yep,
And let's focus on that, right?
yep,
How would you fix that? Or how can I fix that for you, right?
yep.
Let's work together. Let's solve this, right? And I think at the end of the day, most agents know what it is that they're lacking or they're missing or what they actually need. And asking the right questions is going to get you to the answer. But when you show up with a great value proposition that's going to lock them in. Hey, what if I could show you a way that I'm helping other agents do this without having to do this? Can I get 15 minutes of your time? Right.
Yep.
And let me show you, but you better show up with the answer, right? You can't show up with, no, I really was just trying to get you on the call, right? Like, no,
Yeah.
here's how we're doing that right now. Is this something that would benefit you? Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what you just gotta have to, you have to have the right offer and call agents. Like that's where I would start,
Mm,
right? Because you can start working with somebody immediately that, because they came from an agent, right? They
yeah,
have people that are looking to be pre-approved versus just calling through your phone. Like, and I think that through your phone might be the next step, but like, I think you're going to get more momentum, get there quicker by just talking to agents because they're dealing with our avatar every single day.
that's it. So let's talk about this, the modern loan officer and finding the right tech tools, right? And we're not saying, look, at the end of the day, you got a great tool, right? We're not saying that Brad's is the only one, but when you're trying to find that right tech tool, and I know there's a lot of loan officers out there that are, right? And the biggest issue that most of them have, Brad, is that they don't know how to build it, don't have the time to build it. And once they get it, they literally just set it over on a shelf, so to speak, right? A virtual shelf. And they never even log into it because they're like, man, I don't know how to use it or where to get started. I tried it one time. I got tied up and it just took you. So what does that look like, right? When you're trying to land on that perfect CRM, what should it do for you? And how should you be able to learn how to use it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it really comes like you have to figure out what your non-negotiables are, right? Like what you need in your business.
Yeah.
Do you need text message? Do you need email? Do you need to be able to do social content posting, AI ad creation? Do you even need AI?
Mm,
Like, I think a lot of people are attracted to this shiny object. Like I talk to people like, do you have AI that does this? I'm like, well, how many leads did you bring in this week? Well, I don't really know. I don't, not, not doing any advertising. I'm like, so
yeah.
you want to rely on AI to communicate with referrals? Is that really a good idea? Like, like,
Right.
so like, I think that's what it comes down to is what are those non-negotiables that we need right now? And I would say 80% of the people I talk to, Devin, what they need is more business,
Yeah. That's it.
right? And can I find a system that works seamlessly and that's going to help me get more business? Because
Yep.
this isn't like the day and age of Salesforce being the big kid on the block that we run to that just aggregates data. We
Mm,
have systems out there that people are selling. Like you could build it yourself or you could buy it built for you that actually help you grow your business,
that's it.
generate leads, right?
Well, I want to go back to the AI thing because one thing that I know that others may not is that you have a piece that does the AI and can communicate, but quite frankly, you don't use it the way that people are using it today because it's not real interaction. It's not, you can do it, you've done it, you've tried it, but at the end of the day, what you know is that face-to-face real interaction is what actually gets it done. So you're linking the AI on the background to run a lot of the other platforms that you have inside of your CRM system so that you can generate more business, right? And then you have more conversations. And instead of leaning into the AI to have the conversations for you, you're having those conversations with those people.
Yeah, so like what we do is, I mean, we use AI in a few different ways, but like as far as like AI, as far as like, and we're always investigating. Like we have an AI outbound voice right now that we're testing, but I'm not happy with it. I could be using it in my own business, but like I just bought a $15,000 membership to a course, and I didn't talk to AI. I talked to a salesperson. I think
Mm,
that's what people are they're losing their focus. Like we still have to do sales activities,
yep.
right? But I do use AI in some really cool ways. right? So like all of our opt-in stuff, right? Like our websites, our surveys, even our webinar registration forms, every single opt-in requires phone verification. So no fake numbers come into our system unless you manually put them there, okay? The surveys that we're using, so like we're using like 12 data point surveys, right?
Yeah.
Like what state are you looking in, how are you going to occupy, all the typical stuff, credit
Right.
scores, income, are you VA eligible for VA, how are you, surviving spouse, what have you. The way we're using AI is if somebody goes to my website, fills out one of those surveys, we have two ways we're using AI. So we don't write done for you workflow messages, like your typical campaigns that are pre-written, because when somebody fills out one of those surveys, I'm not a statistics guy, but there's probably a million different outcomes, right? When you start factoring in every question and every option for every question, how many different outcomes? So how do I write a pre-written message to somebody who's buying a primary home versus an investment property, somebody that's a surviving spouse versus somebody that's not even eligible? You don't. So like what we do is we take all of that contextual data, we give it to our AI, and in real time, the follow-up messages that are going out are not pre-written. AI is writing those in real time. So now you're getting a message. Hey, Devin, Kristen here with Acre Mortgage. I saw that you're looking to buy a single family home in Pennsylvania. By the way, thank you for serving. How are you today? Right? I can't pre-write that. So we have AI writing those messages in real time, which is not an AI chatbot, but it's a way that we're using AI that a lot of people haven't even thought to. And then when they respond, our AI bot also has all that context. So now I could take the conversation right over where the outbound, the workflow messages are getting written.
Yeah, there it is.
But again, that we use AI because when an internet lead comes in from our website, we know that we're not going to be able to respond to it right away. So there's two things we got to remember. Any CRM is designed to respond within 5 minutes, speed of response. Any CRM will do that. The problem is not every CRM will respond to the response. So that's the thing. Like they say, okay, you have to respond to the lead in 5 minutes. Okay, now what's the rule on ghosting the lead? What percentage of leads actually want to work with us now after they've responded and then we ghosted them for 24 to 48 hours because we don't check our CRM?
Well, I'm going to talk about that real quick because I had a real-time experience on that, right? And again, not using your CRM, using a different one. And great CRM, we had actually booked the appointment, but same scenario. I've got leads going directly in from my website, right? And it pushes into the CRM system, and the CRM knows to reach out and say, "Hey, Brad, I understand you have some questions about purchasing a mortgage. Is this a good time to talk?" Right? Question mark. Simultaneously, it sends an email out saying something similar. Hey, by the way, if it's easier to jump on my calendar, jump on the calendar. Right? Yep. So then I have a meeting a couple of days later, and my loan officer says, "Hey, by the way," and we're on call. There's like 30 people on this call. Right? He's like, "Hey, I had an appointment jump onto my calendar, and I don't know who it is." And I was like, "Well, let me take a look real quick. What was the client's name?" So he gives it to me. I look in the CRM system, and I go in and I see the sequence, and it stopped at, "Hey, it's now a good time to clock." The client said yes. He didn't respond. The client booked an appointment. He actually ended up getting a loan because the system was smart enough to book the client for him. Yeah. But to your point, not getting back to that customer is a huge no-no. And how many other clients got the same sequence, said yes, nobody responded back, and they just looked another direction?
Yeah. It happens all the time, man. And even that, like there's privileged people like using my CRM, they're privileged. Like they still don't want to pick up the phone. So like I tell people like AI is not there to replace us. It's to assist us. So at 8 o'clock in the evening, when you're having drinks with your wife or watching Netflix, you can count on the system to work with you to convert those leads. But that doesn't mean the next day,
you don't pick up
9 o'clock in the morning, you're not on the phone calling all those leads, right? Like, that's the thing is like a lot of people, I get it all the time. Like they want the CRM to do everything for them. That's not how it's meant to be. This
is a relationship business.
Correct. You got to make the calls.
Look, here's the deal. If that's what you're looking for, guess what? Rocket is going to replace you because they're going to build the system that does exactly that. But in the meantime, it'll actually get the client qualified and it will give them an approval so they can go out and start shopping the house without you. That's going to happen whether you know it or not. It's happening right now and it will happen. You will be replaced if that's who you are. Right. So what we're talking about is if you have the CRM that has the capabilities, that's not a crutch for you not to make the phone call, right? You still have to pick up and do the work, because that's how you're going to build the relationship that moves you to the next level. But, moving past from that, like, there's some other stuff that you're doing to help build more business, right? You're doing some things with webinars, and you've got a really cool piece in there. I'd love to touch on that before we wrap up today, because I'm pretty sure you and I could sit here and talk for 6 hours and probably talk about some really awesome stuff that we are doing right now. But talk a little bit about your webinars and how you're using that to help build business for your team and the teams that sign up for your product.
Well, so we're a little bit beyond webinars now because everybody's doing them now. Like my competitors, like it's not new and unique for me,
It's
but
not fresh.
I'll still jump into it. So like we have 2 webinar systems, each one realtor consumer. Like you don't even have to build the landing page. You fill out a form that pops out from our side menu. It builds your landing page, color creative, time, all that stuff. So it's done for you. Like you don't have to try to figure out how to build out your landing page because we all have a different thing to offer. So the cool thing about our system is if you want to teach first time home buyer or you want to teach DSCR, like you fill out like 10 fields in your webinar and all your confirmation and reminder messages are built out for it. Right. I think the biggest thing is that we have a system that you can generate unique links. Right. So I can reach out to 20 different agents, give them their unique link. They can promote it. Anybody that signs up through their unique link comes into my system, same confirmation, same reminders. They go on my pipeline. That AI component after the webinar, an hour and a half later, if they haven't booked an appointment, the AI starts writing messages in real time based on the webinar that they attended, right?
Yep.
But the best part about it is that unique link. Anytime a realtor shares their thing, they're getting a lead notification anytime somebody registers. So talk about the hits of dopamine. Go back to the beginning of this conversation. Talk about value. If I call an agent and I go, hey, Devin, what's up, man? It's Brad. I work with Acre Mortgage and we're doing this thing and this is what's in it for you. You want to join us? Because we would do 2-part webinars. Like we call it the Russian doll strategy, the webinar inside the webinar, right? So the first part of the series is educating the agent about the loan product and then how they can get involved in promoting the second part of the series where we would educate the consumer about the loan product. So now I meet with a bunch of agents. 30% that register are going to show up. 25% are going to do a one-on-one meeting with me. I'm going to give them that unique link. Now I have agents out promoting my webinar on top of the advertising that we're running to get people there through paid traffic, right?
Huge, man.
So like I had one agent, because I test a lot of this stuff to make sure it works before I don't come up with these like harebrained ideas to go, hey, like try this thing, it works. And then you spend your money and find out it doesn't. Like I test everything with my own dollars for my own mortgage business. And once it works, we push it out into the system.
Well, I was going to talk about that, man, because you and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And I thought that was really, what a smart way to build, right? Hey, we're not going to just put it out there and say, hey, we think this works, right? No, this is tried and true. This is speed tested, right? Like it's happening real time at his company, and his company is creating successes with these techniques. And when he knows they work and he knows that they're actually functional and they're driving business in, then he transitions it out and hands it out to everybody else. Because the one thing I love about Brad is he's got an abundance mindset, right? He knows that there's enough business out there for all of us. He can use his tools and give them to other people so you can get out there and create successes for yourself. And, that's why I want to give a little peek behind the engine, right? A little peek into there to see a little bit about what's going on. Because when we got on today, Brad's like, I don't want to talk about this. Let's talk about something else, right? He talks about this all the time. But dude, it's such an important topic right now because there's 2 things that Brad talked about here. Number one, don't replace it with your phone calls, right? You have to have your phone calls. You've got to do your outreach. We need to be utilizing our systems to complement what we're doing so that we can have more phone calls to build more business.
Well, that's the thing is it's all about automating like the traffic generation to an extent so that we can put people in our pipeline to call. Because at the end of the day, we're salespeople. That's what we need to be doing is sales.
That's
not
it.
Figuring out which ad strategy is going to work. Not saying I'm not doing ads because I get referrals. No, come on. Budweiser runs ads for a reason. Everybody drinks Budweiser. They don't need to, but they understand that's what you need to do in business, run ads, right? So like, it's crazy, man. Like, we're working on some really cool stuff right now, dude. Like I have a select few in a beta group, it's some really cool stuff, man. Wait till you see what's on the horizon. But we're kind of like, we're still doing webinars, but we've come out with a whole new idea that's it's basically like a funnel that we're building, and we're training people how to build this funnel. Like we're giving them their buyer avatar, which is like 30 to 40 pages, 15 different email scripts, or I'm sorry, 15 different video scripts, a script to actually record a 25-minute masterclass. And we're doing everything through in-video
Huge.
conversion. So like we're not even requiring opt-in. We're getting opt-in 35% into a masterclass, right? With a lead magnet that we've created for our clients. It's insane, bro. Like the stuff we're doing right now is just next level, and there's nobody doing this stuff. I literally spent $25,000 in the last 8 months training with Billy Jean, Vince Reed, and this dude Sabri Subi. He's in Australia. He runs a billion-dollar agency in Australia. And I've taken the best of the best of the best of everything I learned from these 3 guides and packaged it all into one system. And it's just an authority builder. It's going to be
Huge,
insane.
man.
I'm so excited, dude.
Brother, hats off to you. And people know I wear a lot of hats, right? So at the end of the day, hats off to you, my man, for getting out there and getting it done, right? And creating opportunities for not just yourself, but for other people in this industry that need it, man. And just never stopping, man. You're relentless for the pursuit of building the best tech. And what's funny is I've literally been on calls with Brad and other people that had their own GHL, and they're like, you know what? I just threw in the towel and I used his because it was too damn good. And at the end of the day, I couldn't keep up with all the stuff this guy's doing, man. So, thank you, Brad, for being you, my man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I really do. It's been a long, hard journey to say the least, because I'm basically running 2 businesses right now, and it's hard to really excel at one of them when you're building something, and then this
Yeah.
one when you're building something, like. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, I learned this from Russell Brunson. I'm a big fan of his, and it's that we have to focus on the 3 traffic channels. It's all about traffic and conversions, but we got to focus on 3 things. That's marketing to our database, which is the traffic you own, getting referrals, which is the traffic you earn, and getting leads through paid advertising, which is the traffic you pay for. If you do all those 3 things, you have an optimized business. Now, most people will look at me like, I'm crazy when I say that, but then you mention Alex Hormozy and it's core 4, core 4, core 4. Like I've heard it a million times. It's his rendition of the 3 types of traffic, right? And that's kind of like what I build our system around, is how do we get traffic from all 3 sources? How do we become good advertisers? How do we earn leads, whether it's through 5-star reviews or posting organically on social or chasing realtors? How do we market to our database successfully, right? And regardless of whether somebody uses my system or not, like you just got to focus on doing those 3 things. Do those 3 things consistently, because
let's end on this note, man. You and I were talking a couple weeks ago, and you said this, and again, no disrespect to anybody else out there that wants to just be in the local marketplace, but what you said was, yeah, you know what? You can be the local guy, but you don't have to be. You could be the national guy. Elaborate on that. What do you mean?
Well, what I was saying is there was a guy that was doing organic stuff, and great, kudos. That's a part of that traffic you earn by marketing organically to your followers, to the people on Insta, stuff like that. But let's just say I do an Insta video, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm talking loan stuff or I'm doing something, if this thing crushes it, right? Like I get killer engagement. What should I do next? I should go, you know what? That video is awesome. The people that know, like, and trust me thought it was awesome. What about the people that don't know me? Yeah. Why not take that and run a paid advertisement for $1 a day? I think you might have to do $3 a day now. Facebook's always changing stuff, but either way, $1, $3, I can actually promote that. And it could be a 15-mile radius. It could be statewide. It could be multiple states. But like now all of a sudden people see my stuff and now they're thinking about doing business with me, right? Because it's not a thing like I don't want to move into a different state. It's a thing like I feel bad for those people in that different state that don't know I exist. Right? So like you could still do the organic play, be hyper local, do the community events, but you can also just take a little bit of money, because we're all making money if we're closing loans. Take a little bit of money and put some money behind it and run it as a paid advertisement. And the craziest thing is, one of the things that we teach, I'll drop a little bomb here, is that you could build invisible lists. Like, what's it matter if a lead's in your CRM and you have a name, a phone number? Most of the time, like this is what I'm teaching right now, is most of the time, we're going to hurt ourselves. We're going to run paid traffic, targeting the top 3% of the awareness, right? The people that want to pick somebody right now. And what are we going to do? by doing that, we're going to throw people that are in different awareness stages, people that don't know they have a problem. They're not, whatever the case is, they're going to opt into our stuff. They're going to end up in our CRM and they're going to get harassed. Now they feel like they make us look like a used car salesman. Nobody wants a used car salesman following around a lot, right? So the whole idea is what we've been teaching is building awareness, running a video, retargeting anybody that's watched 50% or more. Once they come into our life, they watch our video. Now I can follow them around on Facebook because maybe they watched a 4-minute video of me teaching a first-time homebuyer concept. I don't know their name. I don't know their email, but every time they're on the toilet, they're in the kitchen, they're at their kid's hockey game, they're looking at their phone, they see me again. 3 states over, but I'm delivering value consistently through paid advertising. Now they start to trust me. When they're ready to take that next step, they want to work with me. And I don't care who you are, whether you say, I don't want to work outside. Everybody does. Everybody wants more loans.
Yeah.
So like, don't stunt yourself. Don't stunt your growth. Like, do the organic stuff because that's not scalable. You can't go to like 3 states over and do a video at the park 3 states over and call out to that audience. But you could still do stuff that you can put some money behind and get in front of people in other states.
Stuff that's relevant to anybody that's at that stage.
Correct. And it could also be like you doing some family stuff, right? And they're like, who's that guy? And now all of a sudden they watch your video. Now they become a part of your retargeting audience. And now they're seeing stuff about 203K loans. They didn't even know that those type of loans existed.
There it is, man. Well, dude, drop the mic, walk off because, brother, you're dropping the heat today, man. And I appreciate you. I know we went a little bit over, but, dude, you just got so much that you're doing, man. And I wanted to share that with the world. So, guys, if you want to check out Brad Brondt, Brad, man, how do the folks find you, brother? Like, where do they find your stuff?
Yeah, I mean, look, CerberusCRM.com. You can schedule a demo if you have questions about that. If you just want to connect with me on social, it's Brad Brondt or Bradley Brondt, Brondt, B-R-O-N-D-T, right? B-R-A-D-L-E-Y. There's only 2 Brad Brondts. One looks like a 70-year-old biker. It's my dad. You'll definitely know it's not me. So you can follow him too, but you can find me on social.
Very cool, man. Well, and guys, if you didn't have time to jot that down, don't worry. It's probably running right across the screen right now. And if you're driving, dude, don't rent the car. Like, just when you get stopped, go check out the description. We'll have a link in there to get you to Brad and his team. And dude, you're going to love it, man. Obviously, if you made it this far in the podcast, you know this guy is just straight fire. So thanks so much for joining us today, my man. And audience, hey, thank you guys for watching in. As always, we're going to keep bringing great content. And if you like Brad, ask for him to come back, man. Put it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Send this out to 3 people that you know need to hear it, right? And then go over and follow Brad, follow his page, follow his dad, and you'll probably see some cool biker stuff. And make sure you like and comment. Until the next time, guys, we will see you then.